Welcome back to ETBU Extra here on the ETBU Sports Net. Before we talk Tiger basketball, I want to say congratulations to two members of the Lady Tiger volleyball team. The American Volleyball Coaches Association released their all-region teams as well as their all-American teams, and two Lady Tiger volleyball members are part of that list. Mallory Sanders and Daisy Alano, both named to the AVC all-region teams as well as all-American honors as an honorable mention pick as well. So congratulations to Mallory and Daisy for those honors. Of course, the Lady Tiger volleyball team, 21-7 overall in the year. They finished second place in the American Southwest Conference East Division. Time now to talk Tiger basketball, and joining us today is the assistant coach of Tiger basketball, Michael Prather. And Coach Prather, first off the bat, let's talk about last night's game in Centenary, a non-conference game. Tigers win that ball game by a final score of 72-61, but as I listened to the game driving back from an event in Lufkin last night on the ETV Sportsnet and reading about it, it was a hard-fought contest for the Tigers. How hard was it?
It was a hard win. We knew it was going to be a hard game. There's a little bit of history between us and Centenary since they were in the conference. It's got a little bit more on it than your normal non-conference game. And we built up a nice cushion, and then we lost that, and then we had to beat them back again, which luckily we were able to do.
I noticed you had some spurts as they got close. You went on some runs, and that's always helpful in a game.
Well, they're a pressing team, so there's going to be spurts in a game like that. And when you have a big lead at the half with a lot of time left on the road, you know the home team is always going to make a run, and they did. They got a little closer than we would have liked, but we knew they were going to make a move to make it interesting.
As you and Coach West saw that the 20-point lead start dwindling, what was going through your mind as coaches? How to stop this? What was y'all thinking?
We're a little bit helpless. It kind of becomes a self-sustaining thing once they get all the momentum and then they jump in their press and their crowd got in it. So it was really just on our guys to start making plays, to take a little bit better care of the basketball and to hit some shots and get some tough stops. And when we put the veterans back in, they were able to calm down and get us going in the right direction.
In that win last night against sitting there at the Gold Dome over in Shreveport, you win 72-61. I noticed kind of the point totals were kind of spread around. Brett Atkins had 16, Junior Mitchell had 12, Dylan Alton had 14. That's good to see early in the season when the points are being spread around.
We were that way last year. That's kind of the goal. We want to be even and hard to scout, and we were that way again. And we got other guys that are going to score that haven't yet, going to make us even harder to guard and more evenly balanced.
Let's talk about the first game of the year. It was a trip to Memphis, Tennessee. I saw in an interview that Coach West said things just didn't click well to get to the game. Some outside things happened, which we won't go into detail with. But you got to be happy because you came out with a win, first game of the year, 58-55, a close win. Talk about the game against Rhodes College that you won this past Saturday.
Rhodes wasn't going to let us play our preferred style. They held the ball every trip for close to the full shot clock, which is now 30 seconds. And we were never able to establish any offensive rhythm and get the game going up and down. And they did a good job. I want to give them a lot of credit. Both they and Centenary played in their respective conference championship games last year. So we had two tough teams start the year and two different styles of play. And Rhodes, like I said, didn't play the way we wanted to play. We had to adjust to them. We didn't do it that well, but we were good enough defensively to win the game.
How do you rate your team right now after two games? Progressing good, progressing average? Of course, obviously, there's still more work to be done.
We haven't played up to our standard. That's the line that Coach West and I are giving our guys is we don't want to be those guys that win two road games and are complaining about everything because defensively we have done really well. On the road, we held Rhodes to 30% shooting. We held Centenary to 33% shooting last night. So we're very happy with that. Our guys are playing really hard. We've won the rebounding battle both games. So there's a lot of positive with what's going on right now. But offensively, we have not clicked yet, and the ball security is a major concern. Too many turnovers.
Well, how happy are you as assistant coach of finally getting started to play basketball again?
That's really fun to get to play somebody else. Those first couple weeks of practice, it's fun for a while because we're all excited to be on the floor working together. But after a certain point, we're ready to beat up on somebody else.
With Coach Prather, the assistant coach for Tiger basketball. Kind of tell me some of the responsibilities you have as an assistant coach, say during a game. Of course, Bert, coach, the head coach, makes all the big decisions, but I know he relies on you a lot. What is your kind of responsibilities during a game?
Well, Coach does all the subbing, so I submit my suggestions to him respectfully. When I want a certain person to come in or out, he listens sometimes he doesn't. That's just the way it is. But we make adjustments constantly defensively. I don't have to go through him for that. So me and the guys on the floor are talking a lot about what we want to do to guard the different things that they're doing. So defensive adjustments is the biggest one, and also offensively, we're trying to call plays and get different looks for our guys.
Well, Coach, coming up next for the Tigers, got a few days off to not play until after Thanksgiving. You travel down to Seguin to play in the Texas Lutheran Classic. Friday, you have Shriner. Saturday on the 20th, you have TLU. Of course, it's just more getting ready for conference play. Will a little break help the team or hurt the team?
It'll help. We need to put in a couple of wrinkles to give teams different looks because they're going to have the film on what we've done so far. And these are all big games. Unfortunately, we don't have time to ease into the season because we hope to be in the mix for an at-large bid. And in order to get an at-large bid, we're going to have to win all these South Region games, which all these games are. So these games are very important. So we've got to be ready for them. And this 10-day layoff will give us a chance to prepare a few different things for Shriner and TLU, who will both be tough teams to play.
For the fans who follow Tiger basketball, yes, you say it's a non-conference game, so it doesn't mean anything. It does because of the regional rankings.
Yes.
And if you don't get that automatic qualifier, you want to get one of those at-large bids. Well, let's skip a few heads as you keep a few weeks as you get going in American Southwest Conference play. It does not happen until after a non-conference game against McMurray. They're a provisional member of the conference this year. And then as I look at your schedule, and I've talked to y'all about in the office before, y'all got a tough first part of the American Southwest Conference schedule.
It's overwhelming when you look at it as a whole. So we got to do what we preach to the guys and just take it one day at a time. Each practice, try to get a little bit better in at least one area and just focus on the game in front of you. If you try to look at Murderer's Row that we have coming, it gets overwhelming, but they're thinking the same thing when they look at us. I'm not overconfident at all, but when they're looking at having to come here or host us, they're not looking forward to that any more than we are looking forward to playing them.
Coach Prather, thank you for your time today.
Sure.
Filling in for head coach Burt West here on E2 Extra. Of course, the Tigers win last night against Centenary. Won their season opener against Rhodes. They're 2-0. Their next game is not until November 27th as they travel to Seguin to play in the Texas Lutheran Classic. Have Shriner on Friday night and TLU on Saturday. Don't go away. We're still going to talk basketball here on E2 Extra. We're broadcasting live from the first floor of the Northwest Student Center on the campus of ETBU. Back with more of E2 Extra in just a moment.